Hello everyone, welcome to Golf Part 2.
No.
Okay, we'll spare you mini golf for a second time.
Watch that video and see how fucking pissed I am. That entire fucking video. That entire video, I am pissed.
So this time, Josh is the one who gets pissed. We're playing.
That wasn't
getting
even the
over,
last one we did.
We're playing Getting Over with Bennett Foddy. You know, there's like a lot of
Yes.
games that are really hard, like so that streamers can play them and like scream and shout and stuff. This is kind of the answer to the question: what if there was one of those that existed, which did that, but not because it was, but like ultimately was not about that, and like kind of making fun of you for losing, and just kind of like being sadistic, but was actually weirdly empathetic and wholesome and like contained some real food for thought that I'm still kind of thinking about a few years after playing it.
I mean, the game's tagline on Steam is a game I made for a certain kind of person to hurt them. So
Yes, but that's like the joke. Once you get into it, it's okay. So basically, Josh has this cursor here, and that's the extent of his controls. He moves around this the head of this hammer, and he has to try to use that to get over it. It being various things in his path, and to try to get higher and higher.
Yeah.
And as you'll see, it's A, not easy to do that, and B, when you fall, you lose a considerable amount of progress often. But throughout the game also, like at various times, either because you've made progress or like sometimes because actually you've screwed up, the narrator will sort of come in and like the narrator, the developer, Bennett Foddy comes in and has some words, for example.
If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have, or if you left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute. If you won some money at the casino,
This is gonna be fun.
red, but it came up black. If you got your best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then immediately...
So yeah, getting over it is a metaphor.
If you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered that they
Is
should
it?
return to their original...
Oh, this
Well,
is
I mean,
just
it's-
like when there's rain on your wedding day.
Harder than starting
Or
over.
like you've always been afraid of flying,
If you've already
but
had
then
a
one
bad
day you fly
have to
and then
go
the
through
plane
life.
crashes. You guys know what I'm talking about?
yeah, yes.
All right.
Hey, yeah, this is like, I don't know, this is something I've thought about a lot though. It's kind of like
a safe place to stop.
how
Don't worry, I'll save
almost
your progress
always
even your mistakes.
what like is likely to
This
get
game
me
is a
stalled
homage
out
to
on
a
something
free
is
game
when I
that
have to
came out in
do
2000,
something over
titled
again,
Sexy
much
High.
more than when I have to do something
The
difficult.
author of that game was Jazuo,
Yeah.
a mysterious Czech designer who was known at the time as the father of
This,
beat.
like it kind of like this is
games
the sort of the
are rough
starting point,
assemblages
and
of
it goes off on
animals.
various
Designers slapped them
tangents,
together
as
very
will we,
quickly.
because I honestly don't know
They're
how
often
far
too
Josh is
rough
going to
and
get.
unfriendly
This
to
is
gain
this is the
much
podcast episode.
They're built more for the joy
Yeah,
of
this
building
is
them
the
than as
come
polished
chill with
products.
us as we do a late anniversary episode for 12 years of spoiler warning. We've been here for too long.
We have outlived the Let's Play format. We have lasted longer than the format
by
we used.
several generations.
You guys ever think about like the alternate universe version of you that became a famous Twitch star?
That sounds horrifying.
Oh yeah, no, this is like a Dark Mirror episode.
There we go. I can already tell my right hand is going to be very tired after this episode, though.
I'm ready for a controversial topic that I want to bring up. You
All right.
ready?
Yeah,
Let's do
absolutely.
it.
I think we were too mean to Jessica Chobot.
Yeah.
By we you mean we
As
as
is
a gaming
a society. Yeah.
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 Don't you think? Like,
I
Okay.
don't know anything wrong with Jessica Chobot.
so like everyone made fun of her because she licked a controller back in like 2011, 10, a long time ago. And then they parried her, and then a bunch of women came out and said like she's only popular because she licks controllers or whatever. And then she had a Mass Effect character in Mass Effect 3. She played the Jessica Alders or something. I forget what her character name was. And everyone like shat on that really hard. And it was just like I don't know, I feel like we were just too mean to her. She was one of the first women in like the gaming sphere that made any money. And I just feel like we were too mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, like pretty much
task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain
most
with a hammer.
prominent women
That act
in
of
the
climbing,
early
in the digital world or
2010s
in real life,
were
has certain
really
essential
done
properties
dirty
that give the
by
game its flavor.
basically everybody.
No amount of forward progress is guaranteed. Some
I
cliffs
mean,
And
yeah.
she's
Yeah,
fine.
it's slippery.
She's living her life in
And the
LA.
player is
I think she has a new
constantly,
show. She's
unremittingly
totally
in danger
fine.
Yeah.
of falling and
But,
losing
like,
everything.
She is like a legitimate nerd. And I just feel bad. She's like in her mid 40s now. And I just feel bad because it's like she could have been a good symbol of like how women can get into the industry safely and stuff like that. But instead she was just a joke.
I mean, I think ultimately, like, kind of, yeah. It wasn't really about what she did. It was just about, like, none of it was actually directed at her or what she was doing.
Right.
Oh, you just
It was
just
this.
like,
progress.
Yeah.
That's a deep frustration, a real punch in the gut.
it's like, you know, whenever you see, like, people rag on a streamer who does something, like, kind of, it's always like, if it's not the streamer actually doing something like kind of genuinely toxic, like they have a fan base that harasses people or they like promote weird ideologies, it's always it's never about the streamer or like who they are or what they represent. It's always about like the audience. Like you're mad that the audience exists or that you're sharing a fan base with them or like, and then that all gets transferred onto the actual personality themselves.
Well, I was reading this thing about how when she was in Mass Effect 3 as the reporter character, people tried to get her fired from her like day job, which was just reporting on video games, because they were like, this is a conflict of interest. She's working with BioWare to make this video game. How could she have a real journalist opinion of the video game if she was in it? And it's just like,
Yeah, because as we all know, what everyone really cares about is journalistic conflicts of interest in this industry.
and I don't think that mindset really exists anymore. Oh, good job, Josh. You're
No.
killing it. But it did. It fucking
Whoa,
did exist.
fuck.
Oh no, you fucked it up.
I've done that twice now. I need to stop swinging at some point. And
Isn't
get
it
my
weird
bearings.
how you get momentum in this game and suddenly like all of the kind of like straining just like drops away?
Yeah, I mean, it
It's a
feels like it's
metaphor.
meant to do that.
Sorry about that.
I like that the creator sometimes apologizes when you fuck up. Honestly, more
My
games
favorite-
I would like if the creators apologized whenever I fucked up.
My favorite "you screwed up and have lost a lot of progress" sound in this entire game is when it decides to play "Going Down the Road Feeling Bad." Like that is my
Yeah.
favorite moment.
Oh,
It's like
and again.
this game has a soundtrack, but it only plays when you fuck up.
We haven't even gotten to like the Hellmouth thing that people have a nickname for that I can't remember because it's been 3 years since I played this game.
The needle?
No, the where there's that thing with all the lights and you got to like flip back and forth between the two sides. Like that's
Yeah,
what's next.
rough.
For cards on the table here, I have not beaten this game. I have gotten to
goodness,
the
no.
table with the orange, and that was my limit. I could not get further than the table with the orange. I could never overcome that.
Table with the orange. That
So one thing that's kind of cool about this game is that like the creator did not make any of these assets. There is zero custom
Oh,
assets
really?
in Getting Over It with Bennett
Even-
Foddy.
even the player model inside the pot. I guess it was probably just
Yeah.
put a
It's
put
like
a
all
dude in a
free
pot.
Unity stuff, and that's like kind of
Oh, that's-
that kind of like plays into like the the narration later. He has some sort of thoughts about that and about like how, you know, like
Big on cup.
why people don't use free assets and publish games more often. I'll see if Josh gets there.
Whoa, no, 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 no,
There
no.
you go.
Failure is
Goodbye.
not falling down.
Okay, I should not have tried to do the full swing there.
Yeah, Josh, the failure is not the fall, it's that you quit. Quitting is
It's
the
that
failure.
you fucked up, Josh. The failure was that
So
you
you're saying
fucked
you're a
up.
failure, Chris? What? Oh.
For a lot of games, yes. A lot of most players, I would imagine, this game ended with them just stopping playing it at a certain point. At a certain point, they had had enough.
That's a good point. I mean,
There's zero chance I'd ever fucking play this game because I have an anger issue. I just do. I'm an angry person, and this would make me burn down my entire neighborhood.
oh yeah.
Oh no, I'm exactly the same way with video games. Like I kind of hate Sekiro.
Yeah.
Because I
happening?
kept fucking
The music.
I kept playing that game.
It just
and
started playing like an
losing.
old-timey song about going
Yes.
down the road feeling bad because Josh fell.
I kept playing that game and losing and getting really, really mad and feeling like absolute crap. And I was like, hey, I don't actually have to play this fucking video game anymore. Goodbye. And uninstalled it and never played it again.
You guys want to know something weird? Okay, because like this is why it may seem like I've been weirdly positive about this game, considering it is like self-evidently sadistic and horrible. Because I really fucking hate games where you just die and have to do the same content over and over again. Like really bad, actually. Like also like one of my biggest barriers to entry to JRPGs is that I just hate repetitive content. I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. I don't want to replay parts
Yeah.
over and over again until I get it right. I just want to like play it and experience it once. So this is like the opposite of the kind of game I like.
You clearly are younger than me because you must have had video games in your youth that did not involve the,
Yeah.
let's say, Lion
was gonna
King
say.
Genesis game.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't have a console growing up. I think that's it. I had
So,
like PC.
yeah.
So I was playing like weird PC games.
Oh, there were
Meanwhile-
definitely PC games that were
Safe.
like that
We're
too.
like
It's just
trying to jump fucking giraffes.
Yeah. This game is basically just distilling jumping giraffes into a single brutal game mechanic.
Well, console games when I was a kid were built in a way that you couldn't beat them if you rented them for the weekend. You could only really beat them if you
Yeah.
bought them. And so, you know, you would get like Lion King, and if you ran out of lives, you started from the beginning of the fucking game. There was no save. So, like, for me, if I could get past the wildebeest, I knew that I was gonna, like, get close to maybe beating the game. And, like, I think we did end up beating it, but we needed my dad to beat Scar. And it was really fucking hard.
What was the last game you, like, legitimately rage quit?
Good question. I'm actually going to take a second to stop and think about that.
I mean, for me, it's probably, like I said, Sekiro. Like, I was, like, so done with that game.
Heat signature. That's my
Really?
fault, though. Yeah,
I found that
I,
game really annoying to play.
I really enjoyed Heat Signature, and so I got good at it, and then I started, like, taking on, like, biting... That's a game that's very much about, like, biting off more than you think you could chew, and, like, being delighted when you discover that you actually can chew it. And so I started, like, getting kind of intense about how big the challenges I was taking on were. And, like, towards the end, it was the sort of thing where, like, if it wasn't insanely hard, it wasn't really a challenge. And if it was insanely hard, it was still insanely hard.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to burn out on a game.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I played that game a shitload. I had every achievement, like, at a certain point in time.
I actually had a similar reaction to Hotline Miami in that I got to the bit where that game gets hard, and I was just like, all right, you know what? I'm not invested enough to care about this, so I guess I'm not going to finish this game.
So what I was kind of gonna say earlier is that, like, yeah, I hate that kind of game. Something about this one, like the way that the narration frames it, right? Sort of talks about, like, the way the narrator ends up talking about like the experience
No,
of
no,
like
no, no, no.
retrying
Would
stuff.
have no rainbow, had the eyes no tears. John Van.
You know how like there's you could sort of train yourself to do certain things like emotionally, and like it kind of like has an effect on your behavior, just like what the response to it is. The thing about this game is that when you get frustrated at it, it gets way harder.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that makes sense.
Like the angrier you get at this game, like you lose your precision, you lose your rhythm, like, and you start fucking up and losing progress. And in a weird way, it was almost like like the feedback was weirdly calming. Because like after you play it for a while, like where you get angry, you start losing, you get angrier, you lose harder, you get angrier, you lose harder. Like something started happening where I was just like chilling the fuck out about losing progress and about fucking up.
I feel within me.
Because
You learned how to
I
get
was
over it.
I guess, because I was like, maybe that's why I didn't finish it. I learned how to get
Is
over it. I
that the
didn't need to
true
beat the
moral
game.
of this video game?
But
It
like,
kind of is, though.
Yeah, but like I realized that the more I was playing it, like I was starting to get calmer and calmer because like when I got calmer, I started making progress. And when I lost my calm, I started losing progress. It's almost like it was like Pavlovian conditioning. That's not the
I
right term.
guess, but like I don't necessarily need that from a video. I know that's like a nice thing, but I would prefer it if a game allowed me to just get my aggro out, I guess. Like if I'm already an
Yeah.
aggressive person inside, it would be better if I had a game that just allowed me to be aggro for a little bit, and then like that almost feels better than like I will have inner peace because I have learned how
And
to
that's
do
why you-
platforming games.
Yeah.
What's your current like aggro game?
Let's see. I guess it's Mario Party.
Damn.
I was kidding.
We
Mario
should do
Party is
Mario
like my
Party,
chill
though.
game, actually. Like Nick and I actually played Mario Party before we recorded this because I was like, "Hey, let's just like hang out and play Mario Party." Because like Mario Party almost is my getting over it because you know everything. A lot of things in that game is random, and even if you have some of the characters on hard or whatever, there are still things that will happen that will fuck up your progress immensely just based on a dice roll. So that'll make me feel better. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
The fact that it can fuck you over even if you do everything right
cannot
means
Yeah.
that
believe
like
that you will ever
you kind of have to learn not to care
This
that
is not
much.
true. You're
Yeah.
sure to be happy again. And
yeah.
knowing
I mean,
this,
you know, it doesn't really
truly
matter if you
believing it
lose at Mario
will make you
Party.
less
It's
miserable now.
about
Abraham
just
Lincoln.
the insanity.
The friends you
of it.
lost along the way.
Yeah,
But I think Mario Party's an interesting comparison point because Mario Party also has that like immediate capricious sense of tremendous loss because like
yes.
a random number generator just said fuck you, 3 stars go to Mumbles, Chris gets no stars, haha, Chris sucks. Like that happens
Yes.
regularly in that game. But
Oh my
which is
God,
frustrating.
We have to do Mario Party.
But it's frustrating, but it is also driven by RNG in a way this game very intentionally isn't.
Yes,
if you
exactly.
fall, you fall because you fucked up. And so every
Exactly.
bit of the screw up is on you. Like this game has no real moving platforms, really. There's a handful of them towards the end, but there's not really any moving platforms. There's no tricky physics bits or anything. It's just don't screw up while climbing. And it's the
Yeah.
very, very hard.
And that's why Mario
is just,
Party to
like-
me, it's just so much easier to like just deal with it and be like, this is just a video game. It's fine. I'm okay. Whereas this, it's like, I am a personal failure.
It's also
Gotcha.
fascinating to me that... I'm sorry, Red Scott.
That's sort of a joke.
But it's one of the things that's fascinating to me about it is that this is a game fundamentally about failure and loss and grief and learning how to deal with the pain that you're kind of inflicting onto yourself with this game. And then a bunch of internet kids decided to turn this game into like a speedrunning hobby where they all beat it without error in like 2 minutes.
I just never checked into that scene. It has nothing to offer me.
Well, I'm just it drives me nuts because it's like intentionally missing the point of the game. Like this game is intentionally hard and difficult and easy to screw up because that's what the
What?
game is about. It's
What
about
the fu-
loss.
How did I do that? Wait. why did I rocket into the sky like that? How do I do that again?
You can push yourself up with the thing and you kind of jump. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I find it hard to aim that. Ah!
It's also something I find the character design very charming. Just like the weird dude in a bucket, like naked guy in a bucket with a sledgehammer.
Like the whole like thought process behind making this the protagonist feels very like someone sitting at the Unity store going, oh yeah.
It's the bubbles that makes it for me.
There we go. All right,
You
we're
know,
back here.
As frustrating as this game can be, it's not as bad as Sexy Hiking. I have tried to play Sexy Hiking.
I'm sorry, what?
This game is very loosely based on Sexy Hiking, which is a B game that Foddy actually brings up in his narration. I think he may have already brought it up by now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to it. It's basically just this, except worse.
Worse and harder and uglier.
No. Oh boy. We got more music.
I was actually looking at Steam because I was like thinking if I was just realizing actually that I didn't have any aggro games right now.
I actually don't. I used to. And it's funny that I was like, oh, I want a game that just lets me be aggro. That's actually not how if I need a game to like chill me out because I've had a really hard day, it's always games that I've played before that I know inside and out. It's almost like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, where it's like I'm visiting old friends and I know exactly what they're going to say to me. And so it's not scary. No. But like, I don't really have any games where I can get aggression out, and I don't really want to because they tend to stress me out. Like, for a bit, I was playing BioShock, the first game, every night before bed, and then I started getting night terrors, and so I had to stop playing it.
Oh no.
Right.
Yeah.
I think mine is still Doom Eternal because I'm working my way through the DLC very, very slowly.
Doom's a really good one.
That's the only circumstances in which I ever like try to 100% a game is when it is a game that like I just need to be no thoughts head empty so I can just play this and not think about anything else. Yeah, I don't know what that is for me right now. Like, I thought it was Bannerlord for a while. That game turned out to be very good.
Are we talking aggro or are we talking like dissociation? Because like I played Doom Eternal to like get like blood pumping, yeah, let's go. But like if I turn off my brain, it's Fortnite.
You know, okay, so I guess I was being kind of like loose with my terminology. To be honest, I don't actually have a lot of aggression as a person. I like.
Well, that was unintentional.
I find it mildly ironic that I'm the one with an aggro game to play.
I have aggro in my life, but I haven't found an avenue to put it, so if that makes you feel better. I'm generally an angry person.
Well, that was a fuck up.
I think about like what I want out of a game. It's just kind of like my turn my brain off game. It's either a game that like you said, like it's about like making incremental progress and then like not really thinking about it otherwise, or it's like a game that's just like really exciting. Like that's what I get out of games like Doom. It's just like it's a thrill. City of Brass was that for a while. It's like I think I've probably talked about that before, but I'll just do it again briefly. It's like a game where you're entering like a forgotten procedurally generated city. It's first person, you run around, you can grab treasure, there's monsters and stuff and traps, and like you have a whip that you can swing on stuff with and get through levels. And I play it 100% wrong, I think, because like except for bosses that block you off from making progress in certain points, there's no actual need to kill any enemies. It just like makes the game a lot easier. And there's like a lot of tools that you could use to fight enemies, like weapons and stuff. But I basically just play every single level, just getting through it, like not trying to speedrun it because that doesn't really make sense because it's like a roguelike game. But just like basically just trying to be as disrespectful to the denizens of the level as possible. Just like, nope, don't have time for you. Jump over the trap. Just jump over everything. Just like try to stay in motion the whole way through. Like it's kind of like it's Mirror's Edge.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I was really
Oh,
tense
that's
because that is much further than we've gotten.
I'm actually kind of curious how far Josh is going to get here.
Me too.
I don't think he's gonna get
I'm
through the
dreading
pipes.
the YouTube comments that are all going to be like, "Oh, Josh sucks at this game,"
So,
and it's like that's kind
Josh
of the
hasn't played this
point
before.
of the whole fucking game. Yeah,
Josh has not
I've
played
actually
this
had
game.
this on my radar as something to do for spoiler warning for the past 4 years, and we just never did it, which is kind of funny. So,
I would
hey,
also like to
we're
say-
doing it now.
To anybody who has not played this game,
Anyway, when you
I'm
start
actually
this-
pretty
Fuck,
confident
no,
that it
no,
looks
no,
really
standing next to
hard,
this dead tree
but
blocks
it's
the
actually
way you
harder.
play the rest of the game. It might take you an hour to get over that tree, and a lot of people never got past it. You prod and you poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and over. And there's a sense of truth in that lack of compromise. Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake. You can be completely confident in your ability to get through them once you have the correct
No.
method, or
Fuck.
the correct
All right, well,
equipment, or just by spending
not
enough
that way.
time. In that sense, every pixelated obstacle in sexy hiking is real.
Calm down, Josh.
Come on. I find it hard to like lower myself.
You gotta
get the-
find the
the
place
lineup
between
Yeah.
like sadness and anger. What was that fucking line in X-Men First Class?
What?
Did you ever
I
watch
don't
X-Men
remember this.
First Class?
Like
A long
once
time
4 years ago.
The fuck are you talking about?
It's like there's like a line that Professor
You-
Xavier says to like Magneto
Oh, okay.
that honestly like I've never been able to get over because it just sounds like it's such a weird line where he's just like Magneto, you're trying to use your powers, but it's like you're not hitting maximum power because you're too angry. It's too much rage. You need to find something where, like between rage and sadness or something, because that'll make you even more powerful. And like I feel like it's supposed to be a metaphor for something, but it's so like abstract with how it corresponds to him being really good at using magnetism that it's just like kind of falls flat for me.
That's my fear. The more Star Wars
No.
content we get, the more that it's going to be pretty clear that, like, the Jedi Sith thing makes no fucking sense. Like, the
And it's
different
already
practices,
like that.
the
It's the
mindsets. Like, it's all bullshit.
Oh,
Like that's kind of what
Bubbles.
KOTOR 2 is about. Is like
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I've been chatting with Jabbar about your Obi-Wan Kenobi should fuck theory.
Yeah.
Because he knows lots of stuff about Star Wars, and he's basically going on about how like the comics are making it really clear that Jedi absolutely fuck, and that it's not a problem.
Good.
It's not a problem as long as they
Good.
don't actually get attached.
Oh, no.
So
they
like
have the
Ki-Adi
problems,
Mundi,
but not the not
so
the
like
Tinder.
Ki-Adi Mundi, like or whatever, like the dickhead dude in the Jedi Council in the movies. Apparently, it's canon that like he has a fuck pass from the Jedi Order, like he has kids, and it's because like his species doesn't care about their kids.
Well, if you look at the like early Catholic Church, a lot of them fucked and a lot of them had kids and a lot of them used that to gain wealth. And so
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I
mean,
think like the Jedi Order is a direct correlation to the Catholic Church, so let the Jedis fuck is what I'm saying.
I am so tense right now.
Speaking of Star Wars,
Oh, did
I've been watching the Star Wars TV shows.
I have
Oh, which
not.
ones?
Did you see Boba?
there's so many.
I have been watching the Boba Fett.
How is it? I haven't seen it yet.
It's deeply confusing.
Confused? How can you be
That-
confused?
I mean, somehow.
It's about
It's-
an old bounty hunter who wants to start a job.
That's the weird thing, is that it kind of should be, right?
He's an old bounty hunter who's like, I'm old now. I should just be in charge of this joint. How hard is that?
Well,
the
the
problem is
problem
that they
is he
keep feeling the need to
sucks at
explain why he's doing that and explain like that why he's changed and explain who Boba Fett is and explain how he escaped and explain like why he's a little cuddlier now. And it's like the whole show is just explaining, is like 80% explaining why he's doing what he's doing and like 20% him actually doing cool shit.
Redscarn. This is why I can't read fucking fantasy or sci-fi novels. I've been really wanting to get into fantasy and sci-fi novels really bad, because I'm like, this should be my thing. I'm into it when it comes to video games. But when you read the books, it's like, let's spend the next 4 hours in exposition and have no narration and no pretty words at all. And I'm like,
Oh,
cool.
God. Oh god, everybody quiet, everybody
That
quiet.
makes the game unique.
This is gonna be
This
crazy.
is the hard part. This is the hard
This-
part.
this-
Jazzo intended.
We're gonna see what he does on the horn here.
The frustration is just essential to the act
Oh.
of climbing.
Oh,
and
he
it's
didn't
what
fuck
gets
up.
into
Oh.
the process of building.
He might. It's still possible.
A funny thing happened to me. As I
Sorry,
was-
Mumbles. I didn't mean to shush.
I've
No,
had
I
an
don't give
idea
a shit.
for a new obstacle.
So I have to fuck, man.
And it would
I have to
usually
like
turn out to
swing
be
around.
Or do what?
Be careful. No,
I wouldn't bring
Oh.
myself to make it easier.
I can tell you how I do it, but I don't want you to do it and then lose and get mad at me.
Was my fault as a player rather than.
I'm
as a
not
player.
mad yet at this game. I
Imaginary
mean, I'm
mountains
just kind of
build
zen
themselves
right
from our
now.
efforts to climb them. And it's our repeated attempts to reach the
Whoa,
summit.
this is-
that
this is
turn
Which
going
fantasy
backwards.
novels did you try? Did you try reading any in particular that are interesting to talk about?
Well, I actually started with like Pratchett books, and I felt like they were the opposite. Like they were too like, let's just be glib for a while, and I'm like, the fuck is happening? And then like
They're
I
very
tried,
breezy.
yeah, they were almost too breezy. And then I tried just some like recent ones, stuff that I just found that had like neat premises.
No, no, no,
and-
no, no.
Stand at my grave and cry. I am not dead.
There it is.
Mary Fry.
Oh well, the coffee cup's here now.
Like I don't want to really name any names because I don't know. Like they're young people trying to
Yeah.
sell books. You know what I'm saying? And but I found that there was just too much exposition, or it was like, this is clearly Dragon Age fan fiction that you just changed some stuff, and like that also I was
Ooh.
not interested in. Yeah.
No.
I really wonder what the dynamics would be if in the 90s slash 2000s Tamara Morrison had not been cast as Jango Fett, because the optics
Yeah,
of the story they're
like,
telling would be
there's-
way more fucked up if it was a white guy.
Oh really?
Like, he's also cast like a ridiculously long shadow
Fett's-
over Star Wars, because now he's like all the clones
Fett's
and
Tusken
all
Raider.
of the, yeah.
Oh, I see.
The story
What's
is
with the
story-
fascination with Tusken
To live
Raiders?
is to suffer.
Well, that's the thing, is the
is to
Book of
find
Boba
some
Fett
meaning
is
in
basically
suffering.
kind of
Friedrich
Last of the Mohicans-ing the Tusken Raiders a little bit, and it's
Yeah.
really awkward.
The fuck?
It's like it's not 100% that like it's not quite as bad as that makes it sound. I don't think.
It's not, and again, having Tamara Morrison being the guy is a little
Yeah.
makes it less bad, but
Like what they've been doing, like with varying degrees of success in the Star Wars shows, is kind of like what KOTOR did with the Tusken Raiders, which is like make them like an actual culture and not just like a bunch of screaming monsters who get killed by Jedi.
Yeah, you actually get the impression that they probably are drawing from Knights of the Old Republic on some of this stuff.
Well,
Which is
Knights
cool.
of the Old Republic, you have to like hang out with the Raiders for
Yeah.
like a whole level, right?
the show does. I don't want to get into spoilers, but I don't know how to continue this conversation with that.
Well, tell you what, we're gonna have a spoiler pit for Book of Boba Fett for the next minute because I got some other opinions that I want to get into.
I want to know all the spoilers. Join
All right.
us.
Next 60 seconds. Book of Boba Fett spoilers. The show doesn't have anything that's really gets spoiled anyway. So
Very little happens.
there's like
Luke
no
fucks.
twists. There's no twists. Let me put it that way.
Luke Skywalker has sex. That
Does he though? Actually, because he doesn't in the
fucking
EU,
sweet.
but does he in this one?
do it.
Sooner or later, they're gonna make Luke fuck because they need another Skywalker.
Well, I like one of the speculations, like back with The Force Awakens, was, oh well, she's Luke's kid, like Rey is Luke's kid.
Yeah.
And that got absolutely no, 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 no.
Whatever.
Double no.
Han. Well, like, fucking Leia kissed, like, Luke. There can be a little kissing cousins.
Oh yeah, but I mean, remember the whole Jedi don't fuck came around with the prequels. That was not in the
If you need to take a
original
break, it's
trilogy
That's
at
true.
all, or
That
the
is
original
true.
EU.
What if like nobody told Luke that Jedi don't fuck, and then he only realized that like really late?
He
in the
reads a
game? He's like,
book.
"Wow."
He's
what
reading a
the
book with,
shit?
like, ghost Yoda's there, and Yoda's like,
And he's just like skimming through really quickly, and he just gets to the bottom, like where it's like, if you do like do not form emotional attachments, and he just like turns to the 80 people in the bed next to him. He's like, gotta go.
I just want the Jedi to operate more like the X-Men, where everyone does fuck and everyone does have emotional attachments, and that's just the way of the world now.
And it is a huge problem constantly.
And it is a huge problem constantly forever, and you can never escape it, ever.
So,
All right.
okay, Book of Boba Fett. Chris, say your spoiler opinions about Book of Boba Fett, and then I'll say mine.
It's not really an opinion. It's just what happens is that they do the thing where basically he escapes the Sarlacc pit, and his equipment is ransacked by Jawas, but he's found by a group of Tuskens who take him in eventually, and he saves them. He proves himself to them. They prove themselves to him. They earn a degree of trust. He starts, working together to make their lives better because they saved him. And then he goes to town one day to find out about some stuff, and he comes back and all the Tuskens are dead. All of them. So he vows
That's
revenge
very
on the
stupid.
local... Well, that's the thing, is like, on one hand, they're humanizing the Tuskens, right? Like, because they're not the Tusken Raiders or the Sand People. They are the Tuskens. They are a civilization that once owned or dominated or are the true inheritors to the land of Tatooine, is what is basically implied. And that's great. They're humanizing characters that had otherwise been, like, kind of racially profiled and thrown to the sides and margins of the Star Wars universe. But they do it in a way that sort of puts primacy on Boba Fett, this established legacy character. And then they all die to serve as... They get fridged, basically, to serve as his motivator for becoming... Like, that's why he wants to do this. He wants to become Tatooine mafioso gangster guy to get
Which is
revenge
incredibly
for their death.
boring apart from everything else.
They're like, you
It's-
know what everyone loved when Luke Skywalker's family died and it made him go fight the Empire? You know what we gotta do again? Boba Fett.
Give Boba Fett a family and then
Honestly, what I think what they're really doing is that like the Mandalorian, relatively big hit as far as Star Wars media goes, basically was, they took the template of Boba Fett, which is faceless dude with a cool set of armor who's a bounty hunter, and they did cool stuff with it. And now they're like, well, okay, we have to do something different with actual Boba Fett now that we brought him back, I guess. So now they're like, well, okay, we got to come up with this other story for motivation for him. Otherwise, he's just going to be like what people have been calling Boba Fett lately, which is basically just Din Djarin, but like lame.
Well, that's the
And
thing.
he still is. He still is that.
So for context, I watched The Mandalorian, and then I've been watching the Book of Fett, and I would not have told you like a week ago
escape key
that
and
I had an
change the
opinion
mouse
on
sensitivity?
either show. It was just like, yeah, I have had opportunities where I want to kill 40 minutes, and when that happens, sometimes it is with this show. And then, like 6 episodes into the Book of Boba Fett, randomly they have an episode which is just like no Boba Fett, and which is just the Mandalorian, who shows up, like checks in with some old buddies, charters a flight, gets annoyed at customs, shows up at Tatooine, helps fix a ship with a crotchety old lady from the show, tests out the ship, and then gets hired. That's everything that happens in the episode. And I watched it, and I'm like, man, I have learned 2 things. Number 1, I've really not been enjoying the Book of Boba Fett. Number 2, I actually think I really like The Mandalorian.
It's just...
Because, like, nothing happened in this episode, but I really liked it.
I think part of the problem is the decision to... So part of the problem is that the Book of Boba Fett is told via flashbacks. We're coming up on the tunnel here.
Horn,
You're gonna have to...
horn.
You have to use the lights to climb that tunnel.
Right now, I just want to get to the lights.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourselves. That is also hard.
I'm sometimes getting... There we go. Okay. No, not quite.
Careful, careful, careful.
Not totally sure how I'm supposed to be doing this.
You're pretty much doing
Kind of
it.
doing a little, like, weird fish flop. No, now it's too stuck in the ground. Okay.
Yeah, the fish flop is a good move.
If you're talking about like how you're quote unquote supposed to be doing this, how you're supposed to do it is you're not supposed to. You're supposed to like catapult yourself over all of this part as part of your last move because you're keeping up some sort of like constant momentum.
First, join a hype house, which I just figured out what that is. Secondly, become a Twitch streamer gamer. Third, spend every night, all night, forever playing this game until you are amazing at it.
I'm too old to do any of that shit now.
If the
there like
four
a
of us
horror
pooled
show
our
set in a
resources
haunted
and
hype
all
house yet?
divorced our spouses, we could probably do a
When
hype
you're
house.
building a video game world,
I
you're
would
building
love
with
to do a hype
ideas.
house.
And that can be
I
like
would be
working with
amazing at a hype
pixels.
house.
You mold your
I feel
ideas
like I was
into a
born
set
for
of
reality
shapes that
TV.
you play with. And in the process of playing with
I would
them,
need to
they begin
adopt a
harden
persona
and set
if I was going to be in a
until they're
hype house, and
immutable
I would
like
be
rock.
in character 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Without breaking it into pieces. And starting
Except for the
fresh.
breakdowns, which would happen on stream.
How?
I'd be a
Like
VTuber.
maybe.
What is a VTuber?
It's the YouTubers that have the little.
Marbles knows what a
map-
VTuber is. She's just trying to get me to explain what a
Yeah.
VTuber is.
I literally don't.
It's a YouTuber who has a little anime avatar that is face tracked so that whenever they talk
Oh, yeah. I want to do that. That sounds really cool. I heard it's expensive to do, though.
That's like $4,000 to get a decent one.
I feel like
Probably
I'd be a
less if you
pretty
really-
great VTuber, actually. I feel like I already have a voice that lends itself to anime.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been bugging Chris to become Moe Chris as a VTuber.
I don't
for
know
a
what that
while,
means.
so-
I'd adopt
The Moe Chris shit that we did of your photos on Mumbles' Discord.
You can't make a VTuber out of that. It needs to not be based on
You
a
totally
photorealistic
could.
imagery. I will pay somebody $10,000 if he in this run gets to the top of the tunnel and then immediately falls out.
Wait, pay who $10,000?
I don't know
What are you
anybody. I
talking
just want to see it happen.
Mumblo.
He'll
Mumblo gets the money. Human money from Mumblo.
No. Ah, this is actually tiring out my arms. All this fucking mouse sweeping.
I don't watch any VTubers, but I do play the video game Beat Saber. And because the video game Beat Saber does not have very many songs, what you do is you grab a bunch of like copyright infringing custom songs that you download from a mod repository in large batches. And because a lot of these mods suck absolute ass, you filter instead of just like looking up the songs you like and seeing and just downloading those maps because they always turn out to be terrible. You just like filter by whichever ones are supposedly the best and you download those. And I have learned that 99% of the music in these, which for all I know is 99% of the music that anyone below the age of 25 listens to now, are A, nightcore, B, pop music, or C, something that turns out to be either Tuhu or a VTuber's theme song.
What is
I don't know what any of those genres are.
How do you say like the bullet hell Japanese
it's-
game franchise?
Toho.
Got it.
I think it's Toho.
Toho. I've never had occasion to discuss Toho out loud.
I've always been slightly baffled that like that is a huge franchise in Japan and it's like literally just a bullet hell shooter that has like this anime character wrapping around it.
They're fun. There's a arcade that has a bunch of like Japanese games only, And they're like, this one you're a beetle. This one you're like a goth girl. Like, fuck yeah.
Can you be a beetle goth girl?
I think so.
That's just Lydia from Beetlejuice.
Oh, Joshua.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Wait, never mind.
Farther down, no.
Just you guys, just so everyone's like prepared, we're also playing this for the 13th, 14th, and 15th anniversary videos. Just gonna keep doing it annually.
We're just gonna
until Josh
cut.
completes the entire
We're
game.
just gonna No, we'll just record it all right now, and we'll just like cut it into
Wow,
parts, and then I'll just
13
post
years
them
of
next year.
spoiler warning.
Yeah,
Oh,
wow,
that's
amazing.
amazing.
Isn't it cool that part where the pandemic ended?
I hated that part where Camster got eaten by a shark. That was really bad. I'm so sad about him.
Yeah.
R.I.P. in peace, Camster.
Yeah, but hey, shout out to our newest guest star, the Shark. Thanks for coming on.
Hey,
Thanks for
everybody,
having
I'm the
me.
shark.
God damn it, that was supposed to be me.
No!
No, you're the
You're
ghost
dead!
of Camster that comes.
Yeah, I needed to be
And
able to do
gets
the
mad.
voice.
You're dead! I'm doing the shark!
You're alive. Why would you do the show?
I just
'Cause
really
the
love
shark
doing
is alive
voices.
too.
It's not my fault. You know I love doing voices, so it's not my fault at all.
Do you guys remember way back in like our 13th year of doing spoiler warning when Mumbles was eaten by a shark the day after recording the 13th anniversary video and became a shark that sounded like Chris and Mumbles trying to talk at the same time?
Yeah, that was really weird.
I'm waiting for Josh to just start talking about like, hey everybody, welcome to the 15th season of Spoiler Warning. It's just me. Now Rutskarn's been eaten by a shark.
It's me.
I'm starting
and
to think
the
this shark
Tank.
has a vendetta. It's Jaws 4 up in this bitch.
It's a smart shark.
That shark
Leave a
followed them
comment below
from
if you're a shark that want to eat us.
that shark followed them from Martha's Vineyard to Florida. Like, I couldn't do that.
Well, you're not.
I
a
couldn't do
shark,
that on a
Chris.
plane. I'd get too tired and give up.
You killed my family, but you're in Tampa? Eh, fuck it.
I'm actually trying to think, like, statistically speaking, if I get killed by a shark, where is that going to happen? Where would I be most likely to be killed by a shark over the remainder
I
of my
want to say it's
lifetime?
Australia.
No, Half Moon Bay, there's some good ones.
Well,
Well, the answer is the ocean.
Okay, sure.
yeah, but where is Rutskarn most likely to be killed by a shark?
That's the
Not
key factor
anyone.
here. Like, not Rutskarn, who like isn't big on surfing.
You know, like if you want to get killed by a polar bear, the place you go is to the fucking Arctic. But Rutskarn isn't going to go to the Arctic, so if he's going to get killed by the polar bear, it's at the
What
fucking
if-
zoo.
Well, no, what if one day, like, it's a nice day, you hear that it's sunny at the beach, so you go to the beach, and it happens to be Half Moon Bay, you would die. There are sharks in fucking Half Moon Bay, I'm telling you, and you don't need to be a surfer to get bitten by that fucking shark.
Okay, I will concede that it is probably Half Moon Bay.
Almost.
Yes, my favorite.
So this is interesting.
What
I'm
is
looking.
interesting?
I looked this up on Wikipedia. The country with the most reported shark attacks by like almost double the closest competitor is the USA with 1,100 shark attacks since 1958 till 1958 to 2018. But the number of lethality is Australia by a wide margin, also by almost double its closest competitor with 259. So Australia is the most deadly place, but America reports them a lot.
Are they discriminating on the type of shark it is?
I don't know. I think some of this data's got to be weighted because America reports so many. I'm wondering how many of them are real.
Yeah, it could have just been a little
Well-
sturgeon taking a bite.
The sea bass
A
return.
tuna. Little tuna bite. I've been bitten by fish while I was swimming before, and it was very fun.
Oh, whoa. Whoa, we had a weird lag spike there. That was
I-
strange.
You guys want to know that I was literally like, I was an adult when I learned that tuna are not like small, but that they're
Oh,
in
man.
fact fucking huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you
Do you wanna
just
hear-
get them in the little like tuna salad cans, basically.
Josh, my advice in that tunnel is to just freak out.
Yeah, just fucking go wild.
In the
Oh,
tunnel,
no.
in the tunnel, not
Gotta
next to
be
the
in
tunnel.
the tunnel. Don't freak out
I
outside
can't
of the
get
tunnel.
into the tunnel.
Well, as long as you don't just
Oh.
lose a lot of progress immediately.
Now that I know the
When I was a
secret, I'll never
kid-
get back there.
When I was a little kid, we would go to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and it was my favorite place to go. And they would have tuna there, and the tuna were huge, and I thought they were very cute. So I went up to say hi to the tuna, and he barked at me, and I fell over and started crying, and my dad was very worried about me, and my dad had to like act like he told the tuna off, because I was like, you have to tell him to not bark at me.
That tuna's fucking awesome.
Yeah. My dad's like, let me in there. I will fucking kill this.
Wait, Bumbles, have you seen? Remember we were talking with the Dragon Age streams about Star Trek 4, the Voyage Home, the one with the whales. Have you seen that since
No.
we talked about it? Okay, so they have to go back in time to get whales for an extremely convoluted reason that doesn't matter. And they go back in time and they find
kind of whales?
whales, humpback whales.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And they find whales that are at an aquarium, right? And it's
No.
the fucking Monterey Bay Aquarium.
The Monterey Bay Aquarium would never have humpback whales. Ever.
Well,
there's
yeah,
no way.
it's not actually the Monterey Bay Aquarium. But like the physical location is the Monterey Bay
No
Aquarium.
aquarium would have
And
a humpback whale. Oh, sorry.
that like, you know, that like observation deck at the back of it where you can go out and
Yes.
like, you know, there's So, well, that in the movie is like closed in and there's like whales in
that's
it,
where
and
they.
then Spock
That's where.
Spock
No,
mind
sorry.
melds with a whale and
That's where the sea otters are. That's where they can have babies, so that the population of sea otters is big. There's just that's unfeasible for them to ever do that in real life. I wish they consulted with me first. That little band is meant.
Why
So
didn't we
that sea
call up
otters
in
can-
1986?
I would have known, even baby me. That's upsetting, because that bay actually has a function. It's so that we have sea otters.
So I went to school at UCI, and it's been in like... The weird thing is UCI's been in a lot of movies, but like always as something else, like UCLA or something. Or like it's a prison in one movie.
The high school at Euphoria.
Yeah, and just like it's all these movies that like UCI appears in, and then like fucking finally for once, like the somewhat crappy but not unbearably crappy season of Netflix Arrested Development like has George Michael going to UCI, and it's just like they didn't even get a school that kind of looked like UCI to be UCI. It was some really rough shit. I was so fucking stoked. I was like, oh, he's probably gonna be in
don't
my fucking
understand.
freshman dorm because you know George Michael would go to the Shire. That's where I lived. I lived in the Shire.
You lived in the Shire?
UCI has two, or when I went there, it had like two freshman dorm areas, communities.
Ah.
One was Mesa, and who gives a fuck about Mesa? And the other one was
Wow.
Middle Earth.
So
I mean,
that was the place when we first met that you were in. Yeah, I freaked out and it didn't do anything.
Like, yeah, that's where I recorded the first season of Spoiler Warning. It was in a room in
Yeah.
in the Shire. Yeah, my first season.
Holy fuck.
Have we ever mentioned on camera that the first time we met you told me to go to a fucking Del Taco to meet you?
Yes, because we immediately went and did a stream,
Yeah, that was dinner date.
which is yes, we have lost our dinner date stream to just like internet. Okay.
The dinner date stream. Oh, yeah.
And the prelude to that was Red Scarn like, hey, come meet me at this Del Taco at this address. And I was like, okay. And then we met there, did not order anything, and went to Red Scarn's dorm.
A, I already ate by the time you arrived at Del Taco. You're welcome. B, what, you think I was gonna, like, pay for a parking spot for you at the actual dorm complex? No, thank you.
No.
So you're saying that this is wearing at your arm, and I'm slowly realizing the reason everybody hates every bit of footage I've ever captured from a first-person game is that my mouse settings.
Oh no!
Oh, fuck!
Oh, close one. It's the house that is the real sticking point.
Well, that, yep. Yeah, I'm sure he'll keep that in mind when he fucks up in a second and flings himself back over the house. Oh, not yet.
Yeah, so you play this with dual analog sticks, don't you?
Well, that wasn't really my point, but yes, I do play this with dual analog sticks. And the reason I do is that one analog controller is sort of the overall mouse head, but then if you use two of them, it lets you go a little bit further. So it lets me do anything from fine motor control to, like, flailing really, really effectively. Also, the fact that it's analog... The fact that it's analog means it's all about moving at angles, which is something that the mouse is not really good at. So it's much easier to, like, if you want to set yourself down... It's much easier to do, like, that, where you set yourself down with a dual analog controller than a mouse.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is, your arm's got to be getting tired because you're, like, flinging your arm all over. I'm
sweeping big, like, fucking mouse circles.
My mouse sensitivity is set really, really high, and that's why I think everybody hates all the footage I take of first-person games. But I don't want to move my arm that much. Like, do people really, like, sweep their entire ass arm across a mouse pad to turn 90 degrees? Oh,
No,
that's so much physical work.
Yeah, but I have it so low because otherwise I get, like, I don't know, like my brain can't handle how fast the motion is, I guess. So if you're playing like a first-person shooter and you like spin around real fast, I basically like want to throw up. So I have to have it lower.
I just lack the fine dexterity to control a high sensitivity mouse.
Okay, instead of freaking out, like, try to position yourself on that rock.
Or in addition to freaking out, that's also possible.
Yeah, and then do that. Jump and then freak out. That's really is the best way to get through that. But
Literally what I have been attempting to do for the past 20 minutes.
I have confidence that
Welcome
before
to
we're
this
done with
game.
the stream, Josh will manage to get up that chimney.
oh,
Or
I don't
throw
think so.
himself
We're coming
off
up
at the
on
start of
time.
the level.
I mean, there's no rules about how long an anniversary episode has to be. It's pretty much until we
This
all
is 3
say,
hours.
Fuck this. Besides, we're recording the 16th anniversary episode of Spoiler Warning now. So after you guys
we're
all got
quickly reaching
resurrected by the aliens,
We're quickly reaching the point where it is no longer plausible that the human race will not be extinct.
This is just Josh talking to himself.
so I'm the last human. Hey everybody, I missed the time when there were other people who
Oh,
watched my
man.
stuff. So
Imagine like
I'm doing
a
this.
Twilight Zone, like plenty of time at last scenario where like the world ends and you can finally play all the video games you want, and the only one installed on the internetless Steam PC you've got is Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
There was finally time.
Just make like a murder shrine to Bennett Foddy. Like, I curse you in the afterlife that you're in.
So who played
When
Quap?
I try to.
I
Nobody.
I also did.
Oh,
Yeah!
Hey, hello. Oh, hello!
yes.
Be very careful. That tree is not physics.
Yeah, I had that feeling.
For years now,
All right.
Yes,
Oh my God.
Joshua!
You did
Fuck
it, you
yes!
did it.
bought in a store and assembled into a world. And for the most part, that hasn't happened.
That's honestly not bad
Totally
for an
used
hour or
Stores are
so.
trash.
Yeah.
I don't mean they look bad or that they're badly made.
Oh man, we're at
although a lot
exactly
of
an
them
hour.
are.
Huh.
And hey, we actually
A lot of
did get to that thing I said we weren't going to get
becomes
to.
trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context. And once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage.
I
In
think
the
I'm
context
getting
of
the hang of.
technology,
Oh,
those moments pass by in
never
seconds.
mind.
I really, really would have loved it if you just flung yourself off this ledge after that.
Over time, we've poured more and
How
more
the
refuge.
This might be my favorite part of the game. This is kind of fun. You have to
Oh, I
slide
see.
yourself.
Vastly outnumbers and outweighs the things that are fresh and untainted and unused. When everything
Oh,
around
boy.
us
This is kind of fun.
trash becomes.
I
the
kind of
new
don't want to
meat,
stop recording
the
until
lingua
Josh
franca
fucks up
of
or
the
something.
digital age. And
Yeah,
you can build
no,
culture
we
out
should
of
we
trash.
should follow
But
this to
only
its
trash
logical
culture.
conclusion. Oh,
Be games,
that we should
be
do that.
movies, be music, be philosophy.
So, what if this game, but also it was just a bunch of weird Alan Watts lectures, like every.
I mean,
That would be
Beginner's
everything,
Guide,
yeah.
basically. I kind of wish it was
Yeah.
more like Beginner's Guide because I would have enjoyed the like lectures and stuff like that. But there's zero chance I'll ever fucking play this game.
Man, Beginner's Guide was fucking good.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm not looking forward to as much as I wish I was?
Oh,
Ooh.
The Ultimate Remix version of, you know what?
Stanley Parable?
Stanley Parable.
Yeah, the Stanley Parable.
Why?
I don't feel like you need yet another version of Stanley Parable that adds a few more paths for no reason.
What do you mean yet another? There's only been the one.
No,
There's been two.
versions.
There was the original.
Oh.
There's the original
Oh right,
Half-Life
the original
mod,
mod.
and then there's the official release. But now Crows is releasing another version, and
You
I
say
also
that.
worry about. Oh, go ahead.
But what if you just like get through the first like section where it's just like, oh, what is this, a computer, or is it just a picture of a computer? And then it just like cuts off in mid sentence, and then just a really good Banjo-Kazooie style
Yeah.
platformer for like 12 hours.
Well, what was that? What is that one Chuck E. Cheese game? What's
Five
that
Nights
one
at
called?
Freddy's.
Now,
Well, no, seriously. Five Nights at Freddy's, they had this. They're like, we're making this like free platformer game, and it's like 8-bit, and don't worry about it. And the actual game was hidden inside of it. So like, there was an actual Five Nights at Freddy's, like with full graphics hidden inside of this like 8-bit game that they put out for free. So it's possible that there is something hidden, and I bet it's gonna get silly. Also, I mean, like, do I need to put pixie sticks in a can of Coca-Cola? No, that's probably gonna give me heart palpitations. Am I gonna do it anyway? Probably at least once a year.
At least put pixie sticks in the zero sugar Baja Blast hard seltzer
Oh.
that is now being rolled out.
Okay, but you're gonna be the first person I call from the hospital.
Okay, that's fair.
Mumbles streaming live from the hospital.
you're going to be the first person Mumbles' lawyer reaches out to after.
I just like gave myself a concussion thinking about a VR version of this game.
Oh my god. You are an evil person. Oh fuck. Of course, I always thought that Hitman VR sounded like a ridiculous idea, and they made that, so I
The
don't
vertical
know.
wall here has a way.
Anyway, buy deniable assets at drivethrurpg.com.
Anger makes you swing the hammer harder, and that can push you away from the wall.
I should probably actually describe it, because I haven't mentioned that it's available for... I don't know that I've literally mentioned the tabletop role-playing game that I've developed over the course of the past 2.5 years after successfully kickstarting it on this show in any context. I made a game. Made a tabletop role-playing game. It is $20 on DriveThruRPG. It's called Deniable Assets, the Cyberpunk Villain RPG. To borrow from the, like, kind of example from earlier, it's kind of like the Mario Party of role-playing games in that, like, you actually kind of getting into it knowing that your character is going to get fucked because you're playing a villain, and, like, the villain is going to lose. You're like a junior executive, like junior sort of hotshot corporate suit dude who's like trying to climb the ladder, and it's not going to go well for you. But you sort of like, it's about like you sort of creating that story of like scheming, and then the schemes backfiring in your face, and then you just like getting. It's basically like you drive your character like a stolen car on the way to the junkyard.
It's like Succession.
Yeah, it's like Succession. In many, many ways. Actually, the elevator pitch for it originally was it's like RoboCop, but you only play characters who are killed within the first 45 minutes of the movie.
Does that include RoboCop?
It does not.
Damn it!
No, I keep getting it too high there. I need to get. Come on.
What is our time?
It's time to go.
1 hour, 6 minutes, and 8 seconds.
I just want to get him to the point where he can try to start crossing this, because I like that bit.
We'll see. Maybe we'll just like fade out gently here, and then there'll be the credits, and then we'll just fade in with the beautiful, beautiful sight of Josh just fucking yeeting himself directly into the stratosphere.
Or we cut to Josh getting the golden pot.
You guys have fun.
Oh,
with
that's
that.
not gonna happen.
Thanks for
All
12
right.
years of nonsense. I'll see you later.
See you, Mumbles. It's been cool.
Oh. Oh no. Oh. Oh.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Life is a mosaic of pleasure and pain.